Welcome into the official. We are continuing our look at three-star quarterbacks this week. So be sure and check out the first episode where we went over three guys who we really like in the three-star ranks. I think one G5 pull, but two P4 guys. And on this episode, we're going to look at three more P4 guys. I guess we'll call them P4. One's at Oregon State. Call it what you want. I don't know where Oregon State is or where they will land, actually. But anyway, let's just get on to it. No sense in waiting. So Tristan Tia is a guy going to Oregon State. 6'3", 190. This now makes 3 straight years that a quarterback going to Oregon State has come up for C2C. Aiden Childs. And then I know we had some people at our company who liked Giovanni McCoy. And now we've got Tristan Tia. So Oregon State seems to be able to find some interesting guys. 6'3", 190, QB 78 on 3 overall. Composite ranking, 51 star index. It's not awful. 4.7 40, 4.2 shuttle, 34-inch vert, and a 51 velo. So is he going to make up for that velo by being fun on the ground, David?
Yeah, I think so. He's quicker than fast, but I think he's an instinctual runner. I think he will make up for his velo with his quick release, super clean mechanics, just an accurate passer. This year, he's completing 77% of his passes. But from production standpoint, he hits the metrics I'm looking for, like 147 QBR, like 60 rushing yards per game, 16 rushing touchdowns, so more than a rushing touchdown per game. That's really good to see. But like tape-wise, I just think he's a good decision maker. He's smooth. Everything looks pretty easy for him. Yeah, the 51 velocity isn't like ideal, but I don't really. It's college. Who cares? And I'm not projecting him as an NFL player, so it's not a big deal. I don't think it's not a deal breaker by any means.
All right, that sounds good. Fair enough. All right, so let's see. I got to remember who's who. I guess we'll go Matt. You got like a guy by the name of Jackson Kollock from Minnesota, headed to Minnesota. Big boy, 6'3", 220, QB 31 on the on 3 composite. So fairly highly ranked individual. 4.8, I'm going to bury the lead here. 4.8 40, 4.5 shuttle. So I don't think he's a premier running athlete. 28 vert, 58 ball velocity. So approaching one of the stronger arms in the class. And according to the update, I've got him at 90 star index. Tell us what you like about Collock, because a 90 star index is certainly great.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of said it all for me there. He's really big and he's got a big arm. He has one of the highest physical upsides in this class, especially amongst 3 stars alone. It's not that I don't like his game, because he does have a solid game. I think he's a good mover for somebody his size, especially. I believe 300 rushing yards or so this year. He can move outside the pocket, throw on the move. He's definitely not a big stationary guy with just a big arm. He can actually, do a lot more than that. So that is good to see at least. Production-wise, didn't exactly kill it this year. He transferred to Laguna Beach. His junior year, he did have pretty higher-end production, but kind of a drop-off this year. 1,700 passing yards, 21 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 56% completion rate against 12 SOS. So, not exactly what you love to see. And on top of it, going to Minnesota, which is not the most fruitful CFF landing spot. So this is really just a long shot. Hey, maybe this guy gets some time, transfers up, does something with his immense upside, and garners draft potential.
Yeah, the building blocks are there, and the NFL, I don't think, is as obsessed with running quarterbacks as I am or we are as fantasy players. So certainly possible. Love building on that 58 ball velo, though. That's a good find. Out of Minnesota, we'll see if he can put up. I mean, they had a moment there with Bateman and Tyler Johnson where they were putting up 1,000-yard receivers. So it's not crazy to think they could have a little juice in that offense potentially. And I think then we go into David with Nolan Keeny. Is that right?
No, I'm Keeny.
Oh, you're Keeny as well. Okay. So back to Matt then. Nolan Keeny, BYU commit. I won't steal your thunder. I will say he's 6'5", 6'3", 215, QB 71. Take it away for Keeny.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at a similar kind of profile here as well. He's going to BYU. He is Mormon, so he will be having to do his 2-year mission. Fortunately, BYU is actually a better spot at this point than Minnesota, at least for as a quarterback and future production wise. So that's good at least. But again, we're talking big size here. We got him at 57 ball velo, so one of the higher ends in his class. 4.7, 740, 4.47 shuttle, 2-sport athlete. I mean, you can watch him on tape. He's a much better rusher than those numbers would indicate. I'm definitely a better rusher than Collock too. But I mean, you can see him. He shakes people out in the open field. He goes on these long runs. Big arm. He rolls out. He'll throw crossbody throws. I think he's a really fun QB prospect and has a lot of upside. But again, you're talking about someone who you're going to have to wait the 2 years on the mission, which always hurts for us for the fantasy side of things. Hard to roster a guy like that. But, a couple of years from now, you hear some good news. Maybe you pick him up, and he could easily be molded into the next starter there.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, obviously that 2-year holding period really just hurts for, I think it hurts for C2C players because you don't want to just have a roster spot clog. But, honestly, I think at least at the quarterback position, I'm not sure it's as big of a deal as, say, a wide receiver or a running back potentially. But it's just from the practicality of a roster position being held. That's tough. But definitely got to keep your eyes on. I mean, hey, he didn't do anything this year, but I know Cody Hagan, a receiver I liked, finally made it onto the field at BYU or made it at least onto the team. So they will come back. They'll play. You just got to wait a while. So keep an eye on that for 2027, I guess. And that'll do it for this episode. We've covered 3 quarterbacks the first episode, 3 quarterbacks this episode, and then coming up next episode, which we'll release a few days from now, we're going to go grab bag, just kind of round robin, rapid fire 3-star QBs. Stick with us on The Official.